For more than 10 years, one demand has echoed through the Silverado community: fix the V8. That message came from lifelong truck loyalists, online forums, mechanics, and everyday weekend haulers. The once legendary Chevy small block had fallen from grace, plagued by mechanical headaches that damaged both reliability and General Motors' standing in the full-size truck world. But it looks like that painful chapter is finally closing. With the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500, GM isn't giving its flagship truck a simple facelift. It's tearing up the old playbook and starting fresh with a brand new generation of V8 power. Backed by a nearly $1 billion investment, the company is chasing redemption in the most American way it knows how, by engineering a stronger, tougher, and far more dependable V8. Here's why this matters. For countless truck buyers, especially here in the United States, the V8 isn't just an engine, it's a symbol. It stands for muscle, simplicity, toughness, and pride. It's often the exact reason someone picks a Silverado over a crossover or a turbocharged SUV. Yet over the last decade, that reputation took a serious beating, and these weren't small, forgettable issues. Lifters were collapsing and taking entire engines down with them. The cylinder deactivation systems, known as AFM and DFM, caused rough misfires and inconsistent power. Transmissions couldn't seem to settle on the right gear. Together, these problems didn't just embarrass the Silverado, they chipped away at years of trust built with loyal owners. Now GM is fighting to turn that story around, pouring $888 million into its Tonawanda engine facility in Buffalo, New York, a plant central to GM's engine legacy for more than 80 years. This isn't a quick patch job. It's a ground-up overhaul meant to correct everything that went wrong before. With help from New York State, which added $17 million in tax incentives, GM is protecting more than 870 jobs while installing new tooling, new production lines, and new technology built to produce a small block V8 designed for the long haul. While most automakers are walking away from V8 power in favor of turbocharged 4- and 6-cylinder engines, or pivoting toward electric, GM is doing the opposite, doubling down on the thing that built its reputation: big, bold V8 muscle. Before diving into what's coming, it helps to understand exactly what went wrong. First, lifter failures. Lifters control the opening and closing of valves, and in the 5.3 and 6.2-liter V8s, they proved shockingly unreliable. When a lifter collapses, misfires follow, and often the entire engine needs replacing. These failures are closely linked to GM's cylinder deactivation hardware, and for a work truck used for towing, that kind of unreliability isn't acceptable. Second, the active and dynamic fuel management systems. GM built AFM and DFM to boost fuel economy by shutting down cylinders when the engine wasn't under load. It sounded smart on paper, but in practice it created jerky throttle response and unpredictable power, adding stress that contributed directly to lifter failure. So many owners simply disabled the feature. It was overly complicated, intrusive, and above all, undependable. Third, transmission complaints. Even when the engine itself behaved, the 8 and 10-speed transmissions caused their own frustrations. Gear hunting at low speeds was common, shifts often felt harsh, and smoothness was missing, particularly around town. For a full-size truck, these flaws took away from what should have felt like a confident, comfortable drive. Now let's look at the new blueprint, GM's V8 for 2026 and the years ahead. This time, the company isn't slapping a bandage over the same old wound. The 2026 Silverado's V8 is built on an entirely new architecture that blends modern engineering with old-school toughness. Here's what's known so far. First, a redesigned valvetrain. The new engine gets a fully re-engineered valvetrain that eliminates the weak points of the previous design, with stronger materials and improved lubrication aimed at stopping lifter failure, even under heavy towing or high mileage. Second, smarter cylinder management. GM may still offer fuel-saving cylinder deactivation, but with major revisions, simplified operation, and the option to skip it on certain trims for buyers who prefer old-school reliability. Rumors suggest that base and performance trims could bypass the technology entirely, giving buyers a genuine choice. Third, thermal efficiency and combustion improvements. These next-generation V8s are expected to use advanced combustion chamber design and thermal control to raise efficiency while still meeting tougher emissions rules, meaning better fuel economy without shrinking the engine or sacrificing torque. Fourth, improved transmission integration. GM appears to be revising both the software logic and possibly the hardware itself, aiming for seamless shifting that works in harmony with the engine rather than against it. The goal is a refined driving feel that Silverado fans have been waiting years to experience. So why won't GM let go of the V8? And why is that actually the smart move? The auto industry has become obsessed with smaller engines and hybrid technology. Ford leans on its EcoBoost V6 to power most of the F150 lineup, and Toyota retired its 5.7-liter V8 in favor of a twin-turbo hybrid V6 for the Tundra. But has that gamble actually paid off? Toyota's twin-turbo setup has been hit with massive recalls tied to turbo and electronics failures, oil leaks, laggy throttle, and cooling problems, along with weaker resale value compared to its V8 predecessor. And maybe worst of all, it simply doesn't sound or feel like a real truck. The V8 advantage remains clear: instant and predictable torque, fewer components, less mechanical complexity than turbocharged engines, a natural rhythm for towing and hauling, and that unmistakable growl that only a V8 can produce. For truck buyers who value honest, straightforward mechanical strength, the V8 still comes out on top. The 2026 Silverado is shaping up to be a truck reborn. This upcoming model isn't just a powertrain refresh, it's expected to be a complete ground-up redesign, featuring new bodywork, an updated interior and technology suite, smarter suspension tuning, and of course, that next-generation small-block V8. Picture a Silverado that tows with genuine confidence, rides smoothly through city traffic, doesn't leave you second-guessing whether the engine will hold up, looks thoroughly modern while still feeling familiar, and still delivers that deep, throaty V8 soundtrack. In a world rapidly shifting toward electric power, this could be one of the last true traditional trucks, and GM is going all in. Timing matters more than ever, and 2026 is shaping up to be the year GM needs to strike. While the company says its new engine family won't be fully finalized until 2027, insiders and enthusiasts are hoping it arrives in time for the 2026 Silverado's launch. Here's why GM can't afford to wait any longer. First, the current Silverado is aging. Introduced back in 2019, it needs far more than a cosmetic touch-up at this point. Second, the competition is surging ahead. Ford's F150 has already been refreshed, and Ram's next-generation model is right around the corner. Third, reputation needs rebuilding. If GM hopes to win back buyers burned by past issues, the time to act is now, because waiting until 2027 risks losing another wave of loyal customers. Fourth, electric trucks are coming, but most buyers aren't ready. Yes, electric options like the Silverado EV and Ford Lightning are on the horizon, but charging infrastructure, charge times, and pricing remain real obstacles. Most American buyers still prefer gas power, and above all, they want reliability over added complexity. A dependable V8 truck in 2026 fills that gap perfectly. This feels like GM's big moment the comeback truck fans have been waiting for. This isn't just a new engine, it's a statement of intent. By re-engineering the V8 and investing heavily in its future, GM is proving it's still in the fight. The company is honoring its own legacy while finally listening to the buyers who built its reputation. Instead of chasing turbocharged trends or hybrid hype, GM is building a truck designed to simply work, powered by an engine drivers can actually trust. The 2026 Silverado 1500 may end up being one of GM's most important trucks in decades. If the automaker gets this right, it could win back disillusioned owners, challenge Ford and Ram head-on, prove that honest, traditional trucks are still worth building, and maybe, just maybe, remind the world that a great V8 still belongs on American roads. To every Silverado owner who stuck it out, this one's for you. To the engineers in Buffalo pouring their skill into every bolt, to the GM team finally listening, and to every owner who lived through lifter failures and rough shifting but stayed loyal, this is your moment. Stay tuned, because the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 isn't just another truck, it's the comeback of the V8, and it's about to get loud.